First off, just want to say a big thank you to everyone for the really kind comments regarding the wall campaign, bringing down this wall and at the West Stand at the London Stadium. The response has been brilliant. It really has. I've been really overwhelmed. Just not even just beforehand, just saying that this is what we wanted to do. That we had so much backing from people, and people, getting quite behind this campaign. So really just want to say thank you to everyone for that, and obviously for the kind words. I've actually got a very small update on it, and this is actually quite hot off the press. Just had an email from West Ham um, saying they're going to respond, that they're looking at it and they're going to respond accordingly soon. So whatever that is going to be, I have no idea. So we'll wait and see. But hopefully by next week we'll get some kind of response from the football club, and then we can take it further and see what's what. And let's hope for a positive response from them on it, and just get this sorted out. I really hope we can. So yeah, again, a big thank you to everyone. I want to talk about Angel Gomes. There's a bit of big news coming out regarding that. It's come from Claret and Hugh, from Gonzo at Hammers Chat Forum. Obviously, friend of the show, of course, Gonzo. He's basically put up a bit of an update in regards to West Ham and our negotiations now. Well, I mean, it's a bit of a moany video, I'm going to be honest. Our poor negotiation skills once again coming into the fray. I'm just a bit exhausted with it, with the way West Ham handle things. See what we'll do. Let's talk about that. Say what Gonzo said first, and we'll talk about it afterwards. That's the way we'll do this. So this has come from, as I say, Clatter and Hugh, an exclusive from them. It says yesterday, reports emerged that the Hammers were losing confidence in signing Angel Gomes on a free transfer this summer. Guardian journalist and West Ham fan Jacob Steinberg wrote the Hammers had offered 100 grand a week, which was turned down by the players' representatives, and the club were losing confidence in completing a deal. This was followed by speculation on social media that West Ham were prepared to walk away from the negotiations and focus their attention elsewhere. However, Claret Hugh has spoken to a source close to the player, has called this story old news. This is what the source has said to Gonzo. He has said West Ham did make an offer of 100 grand a week, but that was in January, and there has been no recent offer. And this is I've added this as further as well. We don't think they, i.e. West Ham, have pulled out, but they are well down the list. And the money offered is less than what the club is paying Rodriguez, which is, I'm going to come to that in a minute. Claret and Hugh have also been informed that Gomes has rejected 2 offers from the Bundesliga and is definitely coming to the Premier League. Apparently, this is due to Thomas Tuchel has made it very clear to Gomes that he wants him in the Premier League because he can witness him more there and feels that he's got a better opportunity there to break into the England squad. It's our understanding that, sorry, that's about what I've just said. As a result, Gomes has decided to move to the Premier League this summer when his Lille contract expires. We've been informed that the player has multiple offers on the table, and West Ham are nowhere near in terms of the package offered. With the talented midfielder, valued at around £30 million, available on a free, it would usually be expected that clubs would offer a higher than market wage rate and a decent signing on fee. However, it appears West Ham are doing neither. As I say, that is an exclusive from Gonzo. I'm annoyed. I'm getting annoyed with this. This is a continual issue I find at West Ham. This bizarre obsession from our football club that every time we sign a player, it must be a bargain. We must get a bargain. Why can't we ever just go and buy a player that we want and spend the money that's needed to get them? I don't understand this obsession with lowballing all the time and thinking it's going to pay off. I'm becoming quite exhausted with it. It's a repetitive theme. We had it, last summer. You had it, straight away, tops your head. John Duran, prime example. Annoyed Aston Villa straight away from day one because they said, we want 40 million quid for John Duran. And we went, okay, thank you very much. Thanks for all this conversation. We're going to go away and put an offer in. And we put in an offer of 20 million quid, something like that. And then it really annoyed Aston Villa. Where Villa didn't want to do business as us. We had to then go back with further offers. And it's a running theme. And this is not, you can pick out loads of transfers that we do that with, that we continually go in lowball. By the way, I'm not suggesting that it's wrong to, obviously, in the art of negotiation, you don't necessarily have to go and ask him go in with the asking price. I understand that, but if you're buying a house and someone says, right, I want, we value the house at 300 grand, you don't walk up with 100 grand offered. You know what I mean? You're just annoying people. It winds people up. You're wasting everyone's time, and that is what West Ham are doing yet again. In this, I mean, summer's not even even close yet, really, and I'm already wound up with this transfer window because of how we're conducting ourselves already, because we just don't seem to have a strategy, or our strategy, as I say, seems to be the same for every deal. Let's just try and go in really low and see what they say. Well, stop doing that. because all you're doing is annoying not only are you annoying the respective clubs, and right, in this instance, there's no clubs to be annoyed because obviously we're not dealing with Lille, we're dealing with Gomes directly and his representatives. But you're annoying in this instance, you're annoying his representatives, but you're also annoying the player because he's no doubt spending time talking to the club. And I'm going to talk to that in a minute and thinking about his offers. And then West Ham are coming forward with these low ball offers. It just winds people up. It's just ridiculous. Gonzo himself said that West Ham are bottom of the list. Bottom of the list. And I believe that to be the case for Jonathan David as well, that we're just continually trying to lowball, hoping for the best. And it's so frustrating. It just irks me that we're going into yet another transfer window. It doesn't matter who's in charge or the people we've got at the football club. There seems to be this culture at West Ham where we must go in very low and then see what we're going to do. And as I say, it just creates sends the wrong message. It shows that you're not serious. It really infuriates me. Really infuriates me. So that's where we are with Angel Gomes at the moment. And I'm losing confidence. I mean, I've not been confident in the Gomes one from day one, to be honest. I'm not confident with either of them. And I'm talking about Jonathan David and Angel Gomes. I've not been confident in either. All I have been confident in is that West Ham have wanted to get these deals. That the West Ham are in the mix. But we're at the bottom of the list. And we're bottom of the list, as I say, because we don't ever go in with the right figures. We never go in with the correct offer to start with. You're always fighting a losing battle because you're, as I say, you're annoying people, you're upsetting people, you're not going and being serious and showing that you're willing to really try and get this deal over the line. And Gonzo himself said that West Ham don't even ask. We don't even know what it's going to take to get this player. Why? Why would you not ask that? Surely before you put your bid in, you've got to say, what are you expecting? What is this player? What does Gomes and his representatives want? It drives me bonkers. And I feel like this has got John Duran feel about it again. That kind of, we could get a deal done if we really wanted to, but we're just not doing it. We're just reluctant to spend any real money. We're willing to keep sitting back. We've got an opportunity to get these two players. All right, forget what the likelihood is of us getting these players right for a minute. Just forget about that and the fact that they've got other clubs interested. There's an opportunity here for West Ham to land a top striker and midfielder on free transfers. That's very rare you get that opportunity. But West Ham seem to have the mentality with that of, well, if they're a free transfer, then we're not going to really spend much money, then brilliant. But that's not true, is it? Because you make a saving, but you're not going to make a massive saving. You're not going to sign a £50 million player for 10 million quid. You're going to sign a 50 million player for 40 million quid because you'll give him 15 million pound or 20 million pound signing on fee. You're going to give agents a lot of money. You're going to give them a high wage. And then you might go, well, we saved ourselves 10 million quid. We've got a 50 million pound player for 40 million quid. That's how we should. But West Ham don't have that mindset. We think we're going to try and get that 50 million player for 10 million. And I feel like that's what we're doing with this Angel Gomes that we've gone in. We're up against the likes of Fulham here, and Fulham are offered a much better package to him. Why can that? How is that the case? How is that a case that a club like Fulham, and no disrespect to them, they're a smaller club than West Ham, less finances, and yet they are the ones that are able to put in a much more lucrative offer. Why is that the case? Why is that the case that West Ham aren't able to muscle in with these and put a decent offer on the table? A positive update in it, though, is that Graham Potter has spoken apparently to Angel Gomes. This has also come from Claren Hughes. So they've said that Potter's been on the phone to him to explain the West Ham project, to explain how he would fit into a West Ham midfield. Now, that's encouragement. For me, that's encouraging because at least then you've got Gomes. Then to me, that shows that the player is interested in coming to West Ham, regardless of what you read and people saying, well, actually, no, he's only interested in Spurs. He couldn't give a crap about West Ham anyway, so he only wants to go there. Well, you wouldn't sit and chat to the manager on the phone then, would you? If you had no interest in going to West Ham, you wouldn't say, I'll tell you what, I'll speak to Potter for an hour on the phone and talk about plans for next season. He wouldn't do it. So there's an appetite possibly from the player there that you might be thinking, you know what, I might be sold on this. And I'd like to think that Potter's quite persuasive. Maybe he's excited by the project. Maybe he's listening to Potter thinking, do you know what, I fancy a bit of that next season. Let's not forget Angel Gomes wants to come to the Premier League and play regular football and get in the England squad. So if that's the case, West Ham's an attractive club for him to come to. You're going to be playing Premier League football. You're going to be playing for a big club in terms of the stature of the club. We're not a small-time football club. We're a big club in London, in the capital. And you're going to be a player that's going to be in the first 11 every week. So and if you can then say to him, I'll tell you what, we can also pay you a top wage to match that of Spurs and Fulham and everyone else. We can play or better it. Then he might turn around and go, do you know what? I fancy about that. But the fact is, we're not doing that. we're doing the good stuff by having our manager talk to the player, but when it comes to the finances, West Ham are just reluctant once again to pay what's needed. It's a running theme. We have it constantly with this football club, and we never learn. And unfortunately, it just feels like, although the summer's not here, that frustration is creeping in already, and it's really annoying. Not what we want. So I'm really just hoping that we can sort of basically start moving forward in a better manner than this. I'm losing confidence in Angel Gomes. I'm losing confidence in Jonathan David. Well, Jonathan David, I have no confidence in anyway. But Angel Gomes, I feel there's an opportunity here. And once again, it's us. It's West Ham. It's not others. It's West Ham that are the problem. And we're irking others. We're irking the agents and the clubs and everyone else involved. We're constantly doing it. And we just never seem to learn our lesson. But look, sorry for the rant. I wanted it to be a little bit more positive, but I'm hoping we'll have a little bit more of a positive update in terms of transfers. But yeah, Angel Gomes at the moment looking rather unlikely. Come on, your ones.